Today on Suncoast View, what if there is nowhere to go when you have to go in Sarasota City Parks? We'll talk about why city bathrooms are closed.
It's a jungle out there. And in our studio today, with a preview of the Oslo Reps, the Jungle Book, and a field trip to Jungle Gardens.
Plus, where's the beef? Well, it's right here, and there's a lot of it. We'll learn how to pick the perfect cut of steak for Dad just in time for Father's Day. All that and more right now on Suncoast View. Welcome to the show, and welcome back to Nikki Logan-Curran from Hitchton, honey. Great to see you.
Our party girl.
Listen, it never stops.
There's used to have things to be known as, right? So
there used to be a dead summer, and it's just not anymore.
No, and that is so great because now that those of us who are obviously here and enjoying the summer, despite the heat, we want to still have the great things to do. You are already planning for a big and popular event in August.
I know. I feel like I say this every time. I feel like I'm talking about my children when I talk about events, but this one is one of my favorite events of the year. It's our 5th annual Sustainable Seafood Dinner. It used to be known as our Trash Fish Dinner. We changed the name a couple years ago because we really felt like we have really made some serious progress in the conversation and the movement as a whole, not only just restaurants doing the right thing, but people also supporting those decisions for sustainable seafood and their purchases at the grocery store, what they're catching in the bays and in the ocean. So
I like this name much better.
Yeah,
sustainable seafood.
It's a little less scary.
Yeah.
Well, I think the initial name Trash Fish was really because we export a ton of things that are vibrant, alive, and well in our oceans, and they're readily available and beautiful for us to eat.
So let's use them.
Education shift. And so we've made a lot of really great progress. This year we have 13 chefs. It'll be held at Louis Modern. So it's just a magic night. It sells out fast. This is always one of those events where people are emailing, begging to get in at the end because it really is a collaborative event. We eat feasting style. You know, there's an endless amount of wine and cheese. And if you haven't been inside of Louis Modern, it has an open kitchen. So you see all the chefs working together and plating together.
All right, well, you can tell by Nikki's descriptions, this is not one to
miss. I can talk about this for an hour. It's exciting.
But tickets do go fast, so get it on your calendar. It is Sunday, August 5th. It will sell out, and it is sustainable seafood and a great reason to celebrate everything about the bay, the Gulf, and, of course, our phenomenal Suncoast chefs. We'll learn more about it.
Trash fish.
Exactly, because they're not trashy, they are great. Well, hey, someone that's a big part of that event is in our kitchen today. We are always happy to have Chef Steve Phelps from Indigenous Restaurant with us. I know you're excited about sustainable seafood, but what did you bring us to work with today?
I'm so excited that this has been the talk. Today we're going to make a little, we make sea saltines, and we're going to use some smoked fish on top of the saltines and do a play on nachos. So.
Oh, smoked fish nachos.
A little different.
All right, I brought home some smoked salmon from Alaska. I'm going to have you teach me what to do with it.
Yeah, you'll enjoy this.
In your luggage?
It was canned, but they catch it and then can it. But yes, I did.
That's better.
And I didn't claim it in customs either. So
I'm wild.
All right, well, I do want to remind everybody that something very different is in town this weekend. And like Nikki mentioned, nothing stops for the summer anymore. There's so much going on. It is called the Paranormal Cirque, and it is in Palmetto. If you have not seen it yet, this is something different. It's really a fusion of like stunning circus acts and cabaret performances. Okay, to be clear, this is not a children's circus. This is an adult event.
I agree.
If anybody is under the age of 18, it's like a rated R movie. You have to have someone 21 and older to go with you. It's not overtly offensive or anything like that.
The costumes and things like that.
It's sexy.
Very sexy.
It's
I saw
sexy.
it, and it's great fun.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, so we were driving to the airport yesterday, and I was like, since when does a circus tent look sexy? What is this?
That's why.
And I was like, wow. And so we had someone in the car that was like, let me tell you all about it. It was amazing.
Hot date night, right, Linda?
Actors. Oh my goodness, yes.
All right, listen, if Linda says it's on fire, it's on fire. So if you're looking for a good adult date this weekend, we do recommend the Paranormal Cirque. Its last day is June 17th. So jump on it. It is going to go away, and it's, of course, right across the river in Palmetto.
You haven't seen anything like this ever before.
You know what? I'm open to new things, so that's good. Hey, we had a great conversation yesterday about Moat Marine's plans to put that new aquarium in Benderson Park right along I-75. generated a lot of email, and we do like to share some of the emails regardless of the position, because this is how we talk and decide what should happen here. So Jim Lay writes, and I know Linda's going to tell everybody why this is an important comment: the moat proposal is a dead loser. Aquariums are losers. Look at the Tampa Aquarium or the Chattanooga Aquarium. Yes, it's nice, but nice things that are pushed on the public generally mean it is not nice enough to make a profit. Now, Linda, you highlighted this because, give us, for those who don't know, Jim's background.
Jim Lay was the county administrator here for many, many, many years. So he's been looking after the welfare of this county for a long, long time. And when he speaks, he gets my attention because I just looked at it as a beautiful thing. But he says it might not make a profit, and then we would be picking up the expenses and with our taxes, and so we don't want to do that. But I know the Atlanta Aquarium has been a huge success, a big moneymaker for them. So I think more study needs to go into this. We need to make sure what we're getting, but we do need entertainment around here.
I like that people are thinking, I like that people are responding, and as we discussed yesterday, the county is now taking a look at all the research Moat has done to see if they think it is economically sustainable.
Yes.
So good to hear from both sides.
Yeah, and with them keeping the existing facility for specifically for research, they're doing such great work, and I think people lose sight of the fact that they're not just an aquarium. They're doing some
this
really
is not a tourist attraction.
Yeah,
Just.
But it started with them letting people come into the lab to look a little bit.
Yeah.
Then it got bigger and bigger in the aquarium part.
Well, it would be nice to spread the word.
Great attraction.
Yeah, we do too. But
we
thanks for
want
the
to make
comments.
money on it.
No, we do. We like to hear from everybody, so don't ever hesitate to email us. It generates some great conversation. It is time for our first hot topic, and you may find there is nowhere to go when you have to go to the bathroom at many Sarasota parks this summer. A Sarasota Herald Tribune reporter found this out personally and asked the city's Parks and Rec director. He says it's a money issue. It reportedly costs $66,000 a year to provide a park with a bathroom because they need a day porter, cleaning supplies, and maintenance, and that the city has had to choose which parks to keep facilities open in and which to close until more money is found. Now, many residents have asked the city to open more benefits to benefit, or more restrooms rather, to benefit the homeless.
Yes, what kind of people are we? But I take little kids to the park, and they can't wait till we drive somewhere. Or it's a big deal in my life.
I get it.
To have restrooms nearby. Otherwise, we can't use the parks. So, and what kind of people are we to say, well, homeless people shouldn't have a bathroom to go to?
Well, and I don't think they're doing that on purpose. Obviously, it's a budget issue, but I feel I've been the mother with the young children, and as a resident, and the residents have written into the city to say, please open the bathrooms because we want the homeless to have a place to have facilities, because if not, then they're forced to choose other things that are less publicly acceptable.
Embarrassing to all of us.
Correct.
I guess I just go back to like how many times we have replaced the landscape around Mound. How many times have we taken the, parking meters in and out a million times? The money is there.
Let's think about how we're using it.
There's no way that we are one of the most beautiful cities with the #1 beach in the world that we can't afford a bathroom.
Right.
When
Bathrooms are
every other
non-negotiable.
city, like that's not
Because
like something.
otherwise, it's not beautiful.
Well, and here's the thing. They're built, they're there, their doors are just locked.
A lot of them aren't, though. You look at Five Points Park, there's no restroom. Arlington
true.
Park, there's no, I mean, on the other side, but there's a lot of places that if you have a small child or if you're someone that needs a facility close at hand, a lot of them don't.
And on the North Trail, they are built and their doors are locked. And that's what started this whole conversation, is that at least the places that are there, let's find a way to keep them clean, keep them stocked, and keep them open.
That is a basic city service.
I agree. I totally agree.
Have a park, have a bathroom.
Yep. So, hey, you know, my
Ditch a palm
answer,
tree, unlock the door.
talk to the city, because I think that is something we all need. Hello. So Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have spent more than 20 months trying to figure out the custody of their 6 children. Now, according to a court order, Jolie is now being told that not having a relationship with their father is harmful to the kids, and that she has to tell the kids they are safe with their father. The new summer schedule has kids splitting time between LA and London, and if the kids remain closed down to their father, Jolie risks losing primary custody. As 3 women who have been through divorce and custody Do we agree when a judge says it is harmful to kids not to have a relationship with
I
their
believe
father?
that. I believe that. And my ex-husband was in Atlanta and we were in Pittsburgh, so it was hard to maintain that relationship. But it was so important. And now I see the results of it, and I see how much my son missed. So I think it really is important for the kids. It's hard for the parents, I know.
It is hard for the
It is
parents.
hard
And I
for the
think
parents.
too, when you're dealing with joint custody and a divorce, as long if you're getting a divorce between two adults that just don't need to be married and the children were never in an unsafe position or something like that, that's a different story. You have to keep it about the adults, and I've been through that, and it takes a lot of swallowing and negotiating and deep
Keeping your
breaths
mouth
and
zipped.
on both sides. You know,
Yes,
that's why we're
absolutely.
not married. But I think working together to have the child exposed to all sides of their family is really important, as long as they're in a safe and loving environment.
I like the judge's decision. I mean, I've been there too. It wasn't fun. I at times certainly thought, no, he didn't do anything when we were together. Why should he get him now?
Right.
But that's not for the betterment of the child, you know? So you do have to take a deep breath.
hard.
It's hard. I mean, I felt for both sides when I heard
Yeah.
the story. I
Right,
mean,
right.
first of all, you hate to have it played out in the media. So I felt
That's
bad
the
that it even
worst.
had to be there. But the only
Right.
reason I'm glad it came out is because I think a lot of people like us, we've been like, we've been there.
Right.
This is a good
Right.
choice.
Like, we shouldn't be married, but we're both
Yeah.
good people, and we should share our
You
child.
share the children,
Yeah,
so.
but he won't hurt them. But is he going to remember to give them dinner?
Well,
and
you know what?
breakfast? You know,
They'll
doesn't
be
cook
fine.
dinner.
They're old enough to open their mouths and ask, and I had to get through that
They
part
can
too.
get their own snacks.
They
They
can-
probably have a nanny. Who are we kidding?
Exactly. A little bit different than our level here. Well, as parents, we all want our kids to be successful, but is that success coming at the expense of their happiness? As we hear about increasing rates of mental illness at the celebrity status, high schoolers are battling it for other reasons. The pressure to succeed, to get the grades necessary, to get into the good college. At the younger level, it's to practice a sport or skill enough to make the competitive team. Experts call areas like here on the Suncoast pressure cookers, privileged communities where incomes and expectations are high. As a result, anxiety, depression, alcohol, and drug use are high as well. Nikki, you and I just came out of this high school environment, and I know you empathize.
It was awful. No offense. Pine View's a great school, but it was so rigorous and so much pressure. And it was like Zoe applying for all of these colleges. She got into every college, one of which she was one of the last ones to pick with a 4.4. That's crazy to me.
Right.
That was not what it was like when we were going to college. We
Right.
didn't have to write our plan to eradicate global poverty and have like a legit app and a GoFundMe to like make,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like the level of
Yep.
expectation is exhausting.
crazy.
Late nights, extreme anxiety, bouts of depression. We saw it through a number of definitely her and a bunch of her
Yeah,
friends.
we
like,
live it in our house.
Yeah.
I get it. No,
It's
I think
too much.
what is on the teenagers now is so hard, but yet as parents, it's hard because I'm not a pusher mom, but I am a, okay, here's what it takes, mom. I'm real
Right.
honest. You know, if you have to make the choice to do it, but I'm
Right.
going to be real blunt. Here's what it takes.
Right.
Because the payoff is tremendous.
Absolutely it is, but it's so hard to tell a child, listen, you get a C, game over for
Right.
that school.
Right.
You know? Hate to be the rude one, but
Well, and I think that though, like for me, and I would imagine you and I are very similar in our parenting in that regard. You have to explain to them what the game is.
Yes.
And you send them out blind thinking that you're a smart kid and you're a good kid and you stayed out of
All you
trouble.
have to do is listen.
That doesn't mean anything. You have to be able to speak to adults. You have to be a rock star. You have to do all of these things that are just way too much for a little 18-year-old to wrap their brain around.
Right.
And there was no fun. Like,
no.
So my grandson is in first grade, and I said, what do you like best about school? I thought we were going to hear recess or lunch. He said, making A pluses. And I said,
Oh, God, it's starting already.
and I said, you can't always make an A plus. And he said,
Right.
you can if you try hard enough.
oh, here
And
you're
you know what?
next in line, Linda.
Good message. I don't
Right.
dislike the message at all.
He loves it.
And that's great. But the problem is, I think as we go down the road, I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect, you know? And it's just, it's hard. And it's hard in their minds. And it's hard as adults. We all get it. So it is it's not an
We
isolated
did it.
thing.
High five.
High five. We're out. One down.
You're up, Linda.
What do
You're
I
up.
like?
4 down.
I like to say launched, but not off the payroll.
Oh, yeah.
Firmly not off the payroll.
Oh, no.
That's a whole nother segment.
Yep.
All right, we're going to check in with our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, an amazing fun preview you won't want to miss of Oslo Rep's Jungle Book.
Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather update. We had a few isolated showers this morning and now some activity inland pushing basically off to the east-northeast. Some rainfall again generated as a result of the sea breeze, which has moved on in, keeping the coast clear right now. But you can see that activity right around Venice, some rainfall earlier. Also, Northport had some rain earlier today, and you can see a shower along State Road 72. The rain moderate right now along I-75, just to the north and east of North River Road. The atmosphere is not all that moistened up, but there's not much dry air around either, so the showers that do pop up could produce some moderate to heavy rainfall like we saw yesterday. Boy, big storms dumping up to nearly 3 inches of rain. So this evening, an isolated shower possible with the land breeze by tomorrow morning out there in the Gulf, and then some of that activity has a chance to work its way onshore right around sunrise like we saw today, and then most of the activity will be focused east of I-75 in the afternoon. More in the forecast.
The world premiere of Jungle Book, now playing at the Oslo Repertory Theater, is a multimedia theatrical adventure using immersive video and interactive technology to bring the jungle alive on stage. Adults and kids will be totally spellbound. Yes, it's based on Kipling's book that was written in 1894, but technology makes it cutting edge for today. Joining us are 4 stars of the show. Wow, are we happy to meet you guys. Introduce yourselves and tell us who you play.
I'm Miriam Fernandez, and I play Ka, the snake, Shere Khan, the tiger, Maya, Mowgli's sister, and a bunch of other animals.
Wow.
Yeah.
My name is Levin Valiel, and I play Mowgli.
Mowgli, aha, we know him well.
Yes.
And introduce yourself.
My name's Anita Majumdar, and I play Bagheera the panther and Hathi the elephant, Mowgli's mother, both his wolf mother and his human mother, and many, many others.
I would have not have thought of you as an elephant. Good acting. Okay, tell us who you are.
My name's Matt Laka, and I play Baloo Baldeo, the hunter from the village, as well as Akela, the wolf father.
Now, you're saying this is a world premiere, but Jungle Book is very old. How does that work?
So Rudyard Kipling, who is a British writer, wrote these a bunch of stories. Not just one. So I think we usually, when we think of Jungle Book, we usually think of Mowgli's story.
Yes.
Which is what the Disney stories kind of explore in their in their movies. But in our Jungle Book, the directors Rick and Craig have taken a lot of Kipling stories, including when Mowgli goes into the town and meets his mother. We meet our version of the Jungle Book kind of happens half in the jungle and half in town. Yeah.
Also, Mowgli is an architect in New York City. So we start off with a modern version of it.
Oh, that is different.
Yeah.
Well, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the Oslo did last year, and they had very, very high tech. It was stunning. Is it sort of like that?
Yes, it's the same. It's we use a lot of shadow puppetry, but we also use a lot of multimedia as well. A lot of beautiful artwork by Craig and Rick, our directors, and they really made the backdrop and the multimedia come to life with beautiful artwork. It's
Now,
gorgeous.
kids will like this, so you can bring the kids, right? And the adults will love it too.
I think
Definitely.
that's what's great about the show is that, you know, kids don't come by themselves. They're going to have their parents, their grandparents, but it's really, there's like little nuggets sort of there for both adults and children. It's a really fun show.
Can I ask about the snake? Because I can't ignore it
The
anymore.
snake in the room.
The
yes.
snake is here.
Yes, please. She doesn't like to be ignored either.
Oh, Linda, I've got the better end, I think.
Is this a good snake or a bad snake?
She's a good snake. She's a bit of a diva. This is Ka.
Hi, Ka.
She makes a couple of really major entrances in the show. At one point, she saves Mowgli
Yes.
from the Bunderlog monkeys. And she is a rock python.
A rock python.
Yeah.
Oh, I have great respect for you. Do you have any other unusual characters in the show?
Yes, well, we have tigers, which are normal, but we also have a crocodile. We have a pig, a wild pig. We have a porcupine.
We have a porcupine.
Oh, very good. Well, you have songs in it too. It's not a musical, but it does have some music in it.
Yes.
So could you teach us? We live in a jungle around here.
I know.
No, we were aware.
Bad.
Perfectly. So could you teach us some of the songs, Stephanie and I?
Totally.
One. We'll start with
Yeah.
one of the songs.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All
Yeah.
right.
So we'll put down Ka.
Okay.
Okay,
Bad boy.
Ka.
Ka's not going to dance.
Bye, Diva.
Ka doesn't have feet
Ka,
or
right.
hands.
Ka can't keep up.
He's probably ahead of me.
All right, so explain what we're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So the opening number starts with Levin giving us a bit of an introduction into the world of the Jungle Book, and the other three of us we do a bit of body percussion to kind of fill in the sounds.
Body percussion.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. So it's fairly simple. Let's follow along.
Okay.
So it's right click, click, left click, click, clap. There you guys go. Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
And we just repeat this while, you know, Levin's doing his thing and the ladies are doing theirs.
So we just keep doing that.
That's it. You
Okay.
follow
I'm afraid to
me.
stop.
That seems hard enough. Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Ready,
Yeah.
set. Let's hear some.
Oh, there it is. Here we go.
Oh, it's fast.
Here we go. There you go. There you go. Get into it a little.
Whoa, that was awesome. I may have been a little out
You were
here,
great.
but you are unbelievable. Carl will take my place. You've got to see this. Jungle Book is at the Oslo Repertory Theater now through June 24th. You can visit their website for tickets and information. Next, our jungle theme continues, and it's a Suncoast staple.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Florida Studio Theater presents Always Patsy Cline, now held over due to popular demand. A tuneful and memorable tribute, Patsy Cline's rise to legendary stardom is told through the eyes of her biggest fan. Featuring such hit songs as Walkin' After Midnight, I Fall to Pieces, Crazy, and many more you know and love. Critics are calling Always Patsy Cline warm and genuine and engaging. Audiences calling it outstanding. Always Patsy Cline is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Well, we've got our own jungle here in Sarasota. The Jungle Gardens is one of the many things that makes the Suncoast a great place to call home. Jungle Gardens attracts thousands of visitors every year.
We do 4 daily animal shows, and after almost every show, you get to touch one of the animals that was in the show.
Those include birds, alligators, and snakes. Jungle Gardens is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, tourist attraction still operating in Florida.
It started as a banana orchard on 15 acres, and it developed into a plan to develop this from a subtropical area to a tropical area and bring in plants for a botanical park. In 1939, on New Year's Eve, it was opened officially at Sarasota Jungle Gardens.
They had flamingos, whose descendants are still here today.
We do have 24 flamingos here on property, and we are the only place left in the state of Florida that you can actually hand feed flamingos.
They had exotic birds, and like today, the birds gave shows. The most famous, a cockatoo named Frosty.
He was actually hatched in Folsom Prison, which is a very famous prison for obvious reasons, like Johnny Cash. When he was there, he was part of the rehabilitation program where inmates actually taught him different behaviors. His most famous is he unicycles on a high wire.
Frosty appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show and the Today Show. He's 82 and still performing. Some very famous people have visited.
Einstein was here. He was a resident of Lido Key just for a short while, and he visited our park. And Eleanor Roosevelt also frequented our park, and she referred to it as the snake farm in her journal.
Schools from all over Florida bring their students here.
We've got a lot of emphasis on environmentalism, and the greatest part to teach the children is how to protect the environment now so that they can learn how to protect it when they're older.
Hurricane Irma hit the gardens hard, but in rebuilding, they brought in state-of-the-art enclosures.
We have what they call zoo mesh. It's a very popular material, very expensive, but it's a new material. It has the equivalent of like an 11.5 gauge chain link fence, that type of strength, but you can barely see it. You look at it right now, and in fact, not even the flies can see it, so you see them poke through the screen.
And all the improvements since the hurricane makes Jungle Gardens more beautiful than ever, and the gardens is one of the things that makes the Suncoast a great place to call home. For Suncoast View, I'm Linda Carson. And they have a great deal this weekend for fathers and for grandfathers. For a paid admission, grandfather or dad gets in free.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
fun.
a great place to take the
It's
family
a good
for
family
little
outing.
kids. Oh, there's an awesome playground. My kids love that.
Even for big kids, there's so much interaction with the animals that, you know, the salty teenagers don't complain.
Oh, yeah?
Because they
White wrap a snake around. That scares me to think about.
And it's very
a
shady.
snake around the neck.
That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
noticed because I was there during a very hot spring day, very shady, which is obviously a huge bonus this time of year.
They've got 200 animals.
I didn't know the history of that. That was so interesting. Thank you
Albert
for sharing that.
Einstein
I
liked
know.
it.
I love a place you call home. There's so many amazing places here on the Suncoast, and Linda's going to continue to share
Yes,
them with
we'll
us.
find them all.
So
and
thank
for
you.
more information, you can go to their website, sarasotajungles.com. Next, Dad loves his steak, and the summer house shows us how to grill like the pros.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
My credit score was not that great. I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free. You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Father's Day is just around the corner, and many dads dream of being king of the grill, and they love a big cut of beef to cook on it. But all steaks and chops are not created equal. So Executive Chef Evan Gassman and General Manager Tim Wong from the new Siesta Key Summer House are here to help us pick the perfect cut just in time for Father's Day. And of course, pair it with the perfect wine.
You got it.
All right, so what a spread you have brought. We are transfixed and drooling from all the options here. Talk us through different cuts of beef, because whether I'm grilling at home or ordering in a restaurant like Siesta Key Summer House, it can be intimidating.
You know what? I don't know the difference, and I don't want to admit it. I'm ashamed.
Right.
Well, I'm going to help you with that, Linda.
Yes, thank you.
Take care of that. We'll start over here with, this is obviously one of our biggest steaks, our 40-ounce porterhouse.
This is 40 ounces of meat
of porterhouse,
and one item on the menu.
One item on the menu.
One person could eat this.
Some people can. It is meant for 2 people.
Okay.
Sous vide it for about 6 hours, so it's super tender, and it's the best of both worlds.
Tell us about porterhouse.
Porterhouse, you get the filet, and you also get your New York strip.
Oh, so it's like both.
It's the best of both worlds.
Okay.
Anytime you cook something on the bone, there's that much more flavor. So that's kind of one of our specialty steaks that we don't sell too many of because it's one of those bigger items, but people really come in, and it's a special occasion.
Is it splittable?
Yes,
is that a nice couple's dinner?
We take it, we slice it off the bone, and we put it back on the plate. It comes out sizzling, and it's a really nice shareable.
That would be
because
nice.
if the concept is the meat is juicier and more tender on the bone cooked, then I would like the idea of sharing it so everyone can.
I'll take the one right here.
She likes the filet. Okay, now part of the porterhouse is of course the New York strip.
But also there are different farms, different ways that they produce the cattle. So this is a Nyman Ranch, New York strip. They treat their animals so humane. We do a lot of work with them, and the meat is actually a little bit more sweet.
Tell us about the qualities of a New York strip.
The qualities of a New York strip, there's a little less fat, so I tell people if you're looking, fat is flavor, but I don't like to wrestle with a steak all night long. So ribeye has a little bit more fattiness, a strip is less fat, you have that fat cap there, but a little bit leaner, more meat.
Okay, sounds good. Now, most of us have a go-to steak because of our comfort zone, and I know both Linda and I, it's filet.
Yes.
What are we getting when we order a filet?
Like I said, you're getting this portion of your porterhouse. A filet, as a chef, I normally steer otherwise, but a filet is super tender. It's got a good amount of flavor, but eats like butter.
And it doesn't have fat like the others.
No, there's no fat.
Now, tell us why you steer away, though, because I've heard this over and over from chefs.
Most chefs will steer away. There's just not as much flavor as your other cuts.
Okay.
Very
so
tender,
we're getting the tender,
fat.
we're not getting the flavor.
You're not getting that fat flavor, opposed to a ribeye over here who's got that nice fat cap in it. And as that's cooking, that fat is almost melting back into the meat.
Okay, so
self-basting.
Ribeyes do have a little more fat.
Ribeyes do have a little bit more fat, as you can see in this fat cap here. This is our prime dry aged ribeye, bone in. But yes, there's a little bit more fat to wrestle with.
And
so should taste better.
It should taste better.
They do taste good, but you have to work a little harder, right?
You have to work a little more for it.
And do people care about that, or do people know when they're ordering?
Like I said, if it's your go-to strip, if that's your go-to steak, then you're okay with it.
You're
I'm a strip guy. I know Tim's a ribeye guy, so.
Okay.
The restaurant is so beautiful, you won't mind taking your time.
Taking there and being there forever.
I promise.
All right, now we often see something that is dry aged on the menu. Explain that concept.
The easiest way I describe that to people coming in is it's like a sun-dried tomato. We are extracting some of that moisture out of it, so we're intensifying that flavor. You know, sun-dried tomato has that punch, that robustness, more of that beefy flavor. So that's kind of how I describe a dry-aged piece of meat.
Okay, and so that gives it just that additional level.
Yeah, that level. I don't want, it's a good funk. It's that blue cheesy, you know, and you have to really know what you're getting into. Some people that come in the restaurant and aren't aware of that, they think it's a little different, and we want to make sure that
it is different.
It has a different flavor profile.
But it's got that umami flavor. It's that nutty. It's delicious. And if you've never had one, come in and try it. You know.
Definitely.
Okay, now here's something I've never had. What is standing in front of you? Yes. I am not familiar with this.
This is a kind of off-the-menu specialty thing, but it's a 3-day out. You need to call 3 days ahead of time. This is our prime beef shank. It does take 3 days to make. We marinate it for a day. We cook it for a day, and then we let it cool for a day. And you guys are able to come in. We serve it with some of our fresh vegetables, and it's a really nice sharing piece.
Tell us about the flavor profile of a beef shank.
I would say very short ribby-ish. So it's, you know, the bottom part of the cow leg, and like I said, we cook it. It's just that fall apart. That's
looks like
all
comfort
meat.
food.
Exactly,
Yes.
that is all meat. You know, we have some beautiful wines to pair with it.
Yeah,
and
that's never going to happen at my house.
No.
Right, we're going to you
know,
for that.
For 4 to 6 people, it's really, really cool to come in, get a couple salads and appetizers, and it's a really showstopper when you take that out.
It certainly is. All right, well, you mentioned wine, and of course, both Nikki and I have already found some.
Yes.
The myth of needing to drink the heavy red wine with the beef. How does that work in a Sarasota summer?
No, in the Sarasota summer, I mean, it's your choice. You can pair anything with anything. Rosé. I mean, with the summer heat, you want something light. But we also have all the way down earthy Cabernets, etc. We offer a unique service. We do a Corvin service, which allows us to pour a lot of wines by the glass that you would normally have to buy the whole bottle. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a Corvin.
A Corvin, tell us exactly what it does.
Basically, you take it, you pierce the cork with this needle. It pumps an argon gas, which is an inert gas, which doesn't affect the flavor profile of the wine. And you're able to pour out a glass and then extract the needle, and the wine stays intact. So not that you just need to drink a glass. You might as well order the bottle if you're going to drink a glass.
But if I want to try something really unique or special, maybe I can't afford the bottle.
Exactly.
I can have a glass.
And it's great for doing wine dinners and stuff like that, where we can pour little samples and stuff like that for our wine dinners.
Sounds like a great way to go tasting
Yes.
as well.
Your service is amazing.
Well, thank
I have
you
to
so
give
much.
it to you guys. We've
Appreciate
been there 3 times, 4 times now, and the level of attention to detail and the product knowledge on the menu is very commendable.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We are starting a bar menu probably in about 2 weeks.
Yes. Oh, good.
From 4 to 6, so that's available at the bar.
And a quick mention, because how can we ignore the other beauties in front of us? It is not just steak for those who might not
we have
want.
lovely seafood. So here's a 2-pound lobster tail off the African coast. You know, we do offer really good salmon. We have some beautiful scallops, all sustainably sourced. So we are happy and proud of our seafood.
Okay, for those of us who are not going out for Father's Day and we're going to grill at home a gorgeous cut of meat like this, what is the #1 thing that we need to remember when we grill
I think
at home?
my biggest thing, and I harp on my cooks at the restaurant, we need to temper that beef. So you never want to take a piece of meat right out of the cooler and throw it on a hot grill because it's 40 degrees and it's not going to cook evenly.
Okay.
You want to pull that steak out in about an hour before you're ready to
So
cook
we're
it.
safe. We're safe resting meat on the counter for an hour.
Yes, because you're going to cook it, and unless you're going to wait, you want to be able to cook it and eat it within that 20 minutes after it comes off.
Okay, now do we rest our steaks after we pull them off the grill as well?
5-minute maximum, please.
5 minutes.
Okay. Hour before, 5 minutes
minutes
after.
after.
And you're like, I know. And you hold your glass like this while you wait for it. All right, well, if you don't want to do the grilling at home, we have professionals here doing an amazing job, like Chef Evan, of course, at Siesta Key Summer House, a new restaurant out on Siesta Key. You can go to summerhousesiestakey.com for more details. And happy Father's Day to everybody celebrating. This is a great way to do it. All right, coming up next, we're going to tell you about a great deal at Disney parks. Stay with us.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. Longboat Key finally has the go-ahead to demolish all but one building of the Colony Beach Resort. Why some residents are not giving up the fight to save their property. Plus, where at least 12 reports of smashing grab burglaries happened yesterday in the Sarasota area. Let's get a check now on our weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks, Scott, and good afternoon, everyone. We had a few isolated showers around this morning associated with the land breeze, and now we have the sea breeze generating showers inland mainly and pushing off toward the east. They're not moving all that fast. Some heavier weather along Interstate 4 and 75 north in Hillsborough County. You can see 1 or 2 lone showers there in East Sarasota right now, and some activity pushing off toward Wauchula. Not much going on from Inglewood all the way up to Siesta Key and Anna Maria Island. All this kind of pushing off to the east northeast now, generating some lightning strikes there. Details in your forecast coming up at 5. See you then.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC 7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC 7 on Facebook.
While I was away last week, I know Mickey Williams came to visit, and she left us a summer idea that you have got to hear about. Let's take a look.
Nearly 37 million Americans suffer from excessive sweating. And with summer's warm temperatures right around the corner, that sweating can be embarrassing and it can upset our quality of life. Well, luckily, our beauty expert, Mickey Williams, is here with a solution called Mira Dry. All right, Mickey, I need you. I'm going to fess up. So what exactly is Mira Dry?
We all need Mira Dry.
Right.
Okay, and I'm so excited because I'm like, when I saw, I saw everything and I read about it, I was like, I need this, I need it, I need it. Mira Dry is basically a way to get rid of sweat and also odor underneath your arms.
Oh.
But wait a minute, here's an added bonus. It also gets rid of hair.
Wow.
What? Exactly, right? And I'm so excited about it. I've been reading about it. I've looked at a bunch of different press around it. People have incredible results.
How does it work?
Okay, so first of all, how it works is that you go into a dermatologist or a doctor's office, correct? And they administer kind of like something. It doesn't hurt because they actually give you a little pain reliever right there underneath your arms.
Okay.
And then you wait till that, and then they put this little machine on it, and they do it in these grids. Now, something funny, like a little fun fact, we all have different size underarms. So depending upon how large your underarm is, it'll take a little bit of time. But usually it's like 30 minutes under each armpit.
Wow.
And then what it does is it basically kind of uses this frequency to kind of dry up or get rid of the bacteria, those little glands underneath your armpits that create odor, that create wetness, and also a little, again, side effect, not really, I'd say it's a bonus, gets rid of the hair.
Wow.
Then they blast it with a cooling. It's very comfortable. I've seen a few people getting it done, and I'm about to go do a little kind of Facebook Live in a couple of days where I'm going to be watching it in action. I'm so excited.
Oh my God! All right, now I need this, and I've always been kind of embarrassed by a sweaty armpit. It sounds a little bit too good to be true, though. I mean, don't I need those glands under there?
So these are all the same questions that I asked, okay? Because that's a legitimate question. Don't we need that? I mean, we think we do, or we would have gotten rid of this before,
Sure.
right? No, actually, when I was talking to the doctor, they said that we have like over 2 million of these glands underneath in our body, and there's only 2% of those underneath our arms. So actually, it doesn't. We don't need those, and it's a really big benefit to not have those if you're going to try to save your wardrobe, or if you have, profusive sweating. I just want to do it because I really do sweat underneath my arms, and also to have the bonuses effects of not having odor and not having hair. And a lot of people are getting away from antiperspirants and deodorants.
Sure.
So this is a great option too. And then I also asked them, well, hey, if I get rid of that, is it going to come out of my body somewhere else, right? Like, am I going to get like little sweat beads on my nose?
Right.
And they said, no, this type under here does not go elsewhere. So it's really incredibly genius, and I'm super excited. I mean, of course, I'm going to invest in it and get it, but it's just, why haven't we had this before?
And we get to say goodbye to the big sweaty armpit stain.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have to put any chemicals.
So look at that. That's huge.
Now, what's incredible about this is I said, okay, well, how many treatments? Because when something's this good to be true, you think there's going to have to be tons and tons of treatments, and it's going to be a huge expense. Most people have the benefits of having this all eradicated and gone with one treatment. Wow. Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow. Not many things work that way.
Yeah, no, exactly, especially us. We know all about that, right?
How about any downtime or side effects?
Absolutely not. You might have a little bit of swelling afterwards, as you would typically if you had a procedure done.
Okay.
And you can kind of return right away to work. Maybe you just might have a little bit of soreness, but heck, I wear heels and I have that.
Sure.
So it's like, and I just think that it's one of those things that you're kind of like, why hasn't this come around? And now that it's around, it's going to be absolutely the biggest thing.
There's a whole section of my wardrobe I would be able to wear again. All the light-colored shirts again. All right, for more on Mira Dry and where you can consult with a physician, you should visit their website, miradry.com.
All right, interesting concept in this sweaty Sarasota summer. You know what? We'll take all the help we can get. Mickey's obviously back in New York today, but she's doing a Facebook Live with Joe Gorga of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. He's actually getting a Mira Dry treatment, so he'll be able to talk through it.
He needs one.
He might need it. Yeah, it's going to be 95 in New York this weekend. Please help him out. So anyway, if you are curious about the treatment, you can go to facebook.com/MiraDry, and that Facebook Live is coming up tonight, Thursday at 9 p.m. Coming up next, some great news for Disney pass holders and their friends. Stay with us.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991. Now, in one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TrueStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Okay, listen up, a great deal for Disney World annual pass holders. You can take friends with you if you're an annual pass holder at 50% off a Park Hopper pass. This is a rare deal. So pass holders can buy up to 6 tickets at this discount price. Couple of catches, the tickets have to be used on the day of purchase, so you can't do this in advance. But go to the Disney World website, look at all the details and the specifications. But you, if you are an annual pass holder, this is a pretty big deal, because here's the thing, Disney doesn't have an off season. Yes. So I like the fact that they're offering this now, because a lot of times, you know, I might have tickets, but you don't, and we'd love to go together.
And the kids are out of school now, so it's an easy time to take them.
Visitors as well. If you're a pass holder, you can bring your visitors with you at 50% off. So we love to support Walt Disney World. Check out their websites, get all the details, and know that it's a good summer deal. All right, we've got summer off to a great start in the kitchen with Indigenous Restaurant and Steve Phelps. Seafood nachos on the way.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score. It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free. You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. Residents in a Venice community are frustrated with an abandoned home destroyed by Hurricane Irma. A look at what's being done to fix that problem. And taking a quick look at first alert traffic right now in downtown Bradenton, the westbound lanes of Manatee Avenue are backed up, as well as heading south on 301 near that intersection. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Bob.
Good afternoon, everyone. A beautiful afternoon it has been across the coast. We had a few isolated showers around this morning. One in particular producing a waterspout near Egmont Key. Most of the activity now well inland. Again, pushing off to the east. There could be a few isolated showers later on this evening, moving back toward the coast, but not a lot going on right now. It should stay that way, as I said, throughout most of the night. We had a little activity near Venice that has now shifted off to the east. To your complete forecast coming up at 5.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. prevention is the whole ball game here. Because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Coming up Friday at 4 on Suncoast View, Father's Day is coming up fast. We get last-minute gift dad ideas from our subscription box buff. Find out what kind of surprises dad can get in the mail every month. Our friends from Michael's Wine Cellar bring taste tests to help you choose a bottle of dad's favorite whiskey, plus unique Father's Day finds from Sarasota Architectural Salvage. And the Rosemary joins us in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We are in the kitchen with Chef Steve Phelps from Indigenous and also our local Chefs Collaborative leader and fearless front on saving our oceans.
Thank you.
Is that good?
Me.
Sustainable seafood guy. Sustainable seafood Steve. What are we making today?
Well, today we are actually celebrating a movement that we're doing called Chefs for Fish, and all these chefs across the country who are involved in this program are using sustainable seafood dishes on their menu and highlighting some of the issues we have behind some things going on in Congress right now. So tonight we're going to make a little bit of a smoked fish nacho play, but these are actually saltine crackers that we've used.
That you made yourself.
Yeah,
we made saltines.
I didn't know you
we
could
use a
make
little
it
bit of
yourself.
the local sea salt, and we roll those out and sprinkle the salt in there. And what we do today, we're using what's called wreck fish. Probably nobody's heard of that yet.
I've not, no.
Wreck fish is actually one of the top 3 best sustainable fisheries in the world.
Really? Where does it come from?
This comes from South Carolina. And the wreck fish are a deep water fish. They're kind of like a grouper, but they eat a crustacean diet, and the meat is so sweet and amazing. And there is only one family with the rights to fish for these fish.
Oh my goodness.
And so they have less than 10 vessels that go out and catch these fish. So totally controlled. People are, you know, waiting in line for 6 months because it's closed from January to April. So what we do is we take the belly meat from that, and we smoke that. And if you want to, you could just sprinkle a little bit all over each one of these. Yeah, absolutely. We smoke that meat.
Sprinkle?
How much do you want?
Got enough?
And that's, if you like lots of it on there.
I need one more right here.
Okay.
And it's almost like fish bacon because it's so fatty.
Hold on.
So it's a fatty fish, okay?
It's
soft,
got
so it'll
a
be
really
soft.
nice belly piece on it. Yeah, but it's just delicate and flaky. So we save the belly meat on there, and we sprinkle that on. So just like a nacho, we do a couple other things on there. You can do some of the those are pickled red onions.
Put my hand in?
Sure. And if you want to do the jalapenos, there's some pickled jalapenos also on there.
Linda, chefs use their hands all the time.
Yeah.
With gloves.
And
okay,
so
Stephanie, here's your turn.
What's super unique about what we're doing with this today is that the Chefs for Fish movement, there's 2 HR bills going across Congress right now that are going to ruin the sustainable fisheries that we've developed for.
Okay, that's bad. Tell us about this.
For 40 years, we've been known in the world as the U.S. has been the #1 sustainable fishery globally.
Okay.
And some of these acts that are coming up right now, there are actually 2 bills on. One would modernize fishery, which means robotic equipment, which would go out there and just catch fish all day. No limitations, just pulling fish out of the water.
Which is obviously scary.
Wouldn't that wipe out the fish?
It would totally make us go backwards for the 40 years that we've made this progress.
Why do they think that's good? Because the fishermen make money?
It's going to save money on labor, and you know how some of these people tend to think it's that part and don't look at science-based management. So the other one is to open up 100 species that have been protected for 40 years. And it's just ridiculous, just so there's more availability, and we have people who are in the Congress that don't understand it because they're not in the water and they're not out there. They're not seeing the fish. They're not doing the things that we we discuss as chefs and find out that we can't get a fish at the restaurant anymore, and you
Right.
find out why. It's because you can't fish for it because they're gone. So
Right.
extinctions become an issue too.
Are we going to cook these? Is that why you?
No, I'm just going to have
These
him
are
do-
ready to go.
I was
So
gonna
this
have
is
him
a
do the
little
decorating.
guajillo chili puree,
Yum.
and then this is a little salsa verde, so we can squeeze that all over.
So
both
quickly,
of
I
those
know
dishes.
you're having a dinner to help raise awareness about this.
what time?
So tell us about that, but then tell us about what we can do in terms of these bills in Congress. I mean, do we call our congressman? Do we
Sure,
email him? Well,
sure.
how do we
There
let
is
him know we don't like this?
There's a website you could go on, which is the House of Representatives, and it has a couple different things and tells you about the HR bills that are becoming
Okay.
across the tables there. And you can go in and speak your piece and tell them exactly what you want to do.
Send them letters, send them emails.
Having dinners like we're having on August 5th at Louis Modern
Right.
is another
Sustainable
way to do
seafood.
it, where we just promote sustainable seafood, and every item on that plate will be something that is sustainable and well protected.
Well, and this is so important to us here on the Suncoast, to protect our waters, to understand what's happening with our fishing, and a huge thanks to all the chefs, including Chef Steve in the Chefs Collaborative, for bringing this to the forefront. But you heard what he said. Congress is thinking about taking steps that do not help us here on the Gulf Coast. So head to the House of Representatives website, take a look at that, but more importantly, support all of the chefs in the Chefs Collaborative, such as Indigenous Restaurant, and of course, buy those tickets for the Seafood Sustainable Dinner coming up on August 5th. All right.
me?
Yeah, you guys are digging in, and I'm doing all the work here. Can't wait to
Finishing
try
it up.
this. Steve, great to have you.
Thank
Nikki,
you.
thanks
Thank you
as
very much.
always.
Thank you.
Take some time, enjoy the Suncoast view.
Thank you.
Where's my cheese?